What's up, dude and dudette? Simon back with another video. Thank you very much for coming back and checking this one out. Hope you're all staying safe and looking after each other out there. Today I'm going to run through my favourite albums from last year. I'm going to do 10 in no particular order. These are all just albums that I really enjoyed and sort of helped me through the year, just rocking out with them. So if you do hear my cats fighting in the background of this video, I'm sorry. They're just going absolutely mental outside the door, and I don't want to let them in here in case they go crazy and step over everything. So yeah, these are my favourite albums, top 10 in no particular order from the year that we shall not say, but is in the description. Here we go. First album on the list from last year's albums is Paradise Lost's Obsidian, a really dark, with traces of melodic, sludgy, gothy, just fantastic album from start to finish. Nick Holmes' voice is unbelievable on this album. Absolutely incredible, just like real guttural, disgusting growls all the way to nice somber vocals, and pretty much everything in between. Really great album. I'd recommend it to anyone that likes that kind of dark metal stuff. I do. I've been a fan of theirs for quite a while, but this album's the first one that's really grabbed my attention over the last couple. But this is a start to finish absolute banger. I'd recommend the song Fall From Grace if you can listen to that. If you haven't listened to Paradise Lost or this album, listen to Fall From Grace. That song should give you an idea of sort of what the album contains and what it's about. And if you like that, I suggest you go for more. But yeah, I was very impressed with this album. Please go and check it out. Okay, I think the cats have gone. They're making so much noise. Lord help me. The second album I would recommend from last year is The Used Heartwork. I don't think I've listened to The Used since Artwork in 2009. That was the last album of theirs I really liked. That's a solid album all the way through as well. But the ones after that I haven't really listened to. I think they've had 2 or 3. That's probably my fault for just literally not listening to them. There's no particular reason why, I just wasn't listening to them, so I'll have to go back and check them out, because this one is really good. Very experimental. I don't know what they've been doing in the last few albums, but there's songs in there that sound like pop songs. Then there's songs that sound really angry, really heavy bits. And then bits that just sound like The Used, like Lies for the Liars, Artwork kind of time. So they've just kind of muddled everything together, but it really works from start to finish. I really like this album. I think I had it on repeat for a few days because I was just like, there's just so much variation in the music. And Bert's voice is just sounding fantastic. I think it's got even better in the last 10 years. So it's definitely worth a listen if you like The Used, or even if you don't, there's got to be something on this album that you like. There's really nice, slow, somber songs. There's really heavy, sort of fast songs. So I'd say that if you were going to listen to this album, the 2 entry songs, I would say Blow Me, which is like a heavier, typically used track, and Wow, I Hate This Song as well. That's another one that's really good. Fantastic lyrics, just about, how annoying these pop songs are when they get stuck in your head and you hate it, but you just can't get it out. I thought that was really clever. So yeah, check that out. It's a really good album from start to finish if you like The Used, or even if you don't. Yeah, I'm sure they would be thankful. I don't know why I'm recommending their albums. They're not paying me to do it, but it's just a good album. So please go and listen to it. My third recommendation from last year is Mushroomhead's A Wonderful Life. I would say this is probably the best Mushroomhead album in a very, very long time. They've had a lot of lineup changes, a new singer as Jeffrey Nothing's left the band, which put a lot of people off because, his voice kind of, that's the sound you identified with Mushroomhead because he'd been there the whole time. But I would say that the new singer has a very different voice, but does the same powerful impact. And now they've added Jackie to it as a full-time member. To have that female vocal in there as well really makes a huge difference, gives a complete different dimension to songs. And I just feel like this album's solid. They've thought about the writing process from start to finish. Their other albums kind of feel a bit more chopped together. And this is definitely the best produced one. I think it's Nuclear Blast. I can't remember who they got signed by, but the production level is absolutely fantastic. Much better than the last 2 or 3 Mushroomhead albums. Probably since Save Your Sorrow. That was the last one I think that had really good production values. So I was really happy about that. And the songs are just brilliant. Your typical Mushroomhead I can really hear the Faith No More influences in this album, which is great by me. And like I said before, Jackie's vocals add a completely different dynamic to which the band haven't had before. So it gives it a new feel, new energy. It really does feel like a new chapter in Mushroomhead's sort of journey as a band. I would say the best songs you could probably get into this album would be Seen It All, which is a typically really good Mushroomhead track with a fantastic harmony in the bridge towards the end of the song. It's just one of my favourite harmonies of last year. Absolutely brilliant. And The Heresy as well, which is mainly Jackie and J-Man, which is obviously doesn't have sort of a, just a male singer doing that kind of normal, typical Mushroomhead vocal. So it's different, but it's fantastic. It's probably one of the best songs in the Mushroomhead catalogue. So their experimentation really has paid off, but it's definitely an album I would recommend. Very cool band. Hopefully they'll come and play in the UK when things get back to normal, because I can tell you right now, they're bloody brilliant live. So yeah, Mushroomhead's A Wonderful Life. Go check it out. The Heresy and Seen It All. Oh yeah, baby. The fourth album I'm recommending from last year is Enter Shikari's And Nothing Is True and Everything Is Possible. Again, a carry on from their last album, which I think was called The Spark. Carrying on along the same lines, but with definitely a heavier edge to that. I don't want to say that the last album was commercial, but it had more of that sound to it. I really like that one as well, but I feel like this is a better album. Possibly because of the heavier edge. It doesn't have to be heavy for me to like it, but I feel like this one just had more oomph. I think that The Great Unknown might be one of the best Enter Shikari songs. It's one of the most fantastic album openers. It really makes you want to listen to the rest of the album. When that song's finished, you're like, wow, I can't wait to hear what's next. So I was engaged straight away. Dreamers Hotel, Tina, they've got an entire orchestral track on it. They just love messing around with stuff, and I think that's why I like them so much. They take loads of elements and they make it theirs, instead of sort of people being like, oh, they've added this and they've added that. They try to just take everything. Yeah, that works, we'll take it and make it ours. So it's a fantastic album, really worth listening to, especially if you're an Enter Shikari fan. But even if you're not, if you listen to The Great Unknown, I guarantee you might. I'd like you to, but I probably thought most people would go, actually, that's kind of good. I might want to listen to some more. So yeah, go listen to those tracks, and if you do, hopefully you enjoy it. My fifth recommendation from last year would be Gold Key's Panic Machine. Difficult to describe this band. I would say if you like Muse, Radiohead, Biffy Clyro, Queens of the Stone Age, anything like that. Imagine like that, but nothing like that. Pink Floyd even. There's definitely some Pink Floyd influences in there. They're former members of Sixth and the Gallows and a couple of other bands that I'm not too in the knowledge of. But they don't sound anything like them. It's hard for me to describe this album over video, but it's a thing of beauty. It's absolutely incredible. Really captivates the sound, and with this Panic Machine, they've really captivated the sound of loneliness pretty much for what 2020 really was. Oh, damn, I said it. I was trying to get the whole video about actually saying the year. But yeah, something I would definitely recommend. Even their first album, Hello Phantom, that was another one that was just absolutely brilliant. I would say songs I recommend from this album would be Enceladus and Sweet Darkness. I think they would give you a really good introduction into the band, and hopefully you go back and listen to the previous album. But these guys should definitely be way, way bigger than they are, and hopefully they get there. But yes, highly recommended, Gold Key, Panic Machine. Recommendation number 6 is Bush, The Kingdom. Really great return to form. I've liked the last few albums, but I haven't really been hooked on a Bush album since Golden State, and I know that they are a completely different band now, both in sound and members, but this is probably one of the best Bush albums. I think all Bush fans can agree there. It's definitely up there. A very different sound to the early days, obviously, but this is a new Bush, new sound. Rossdale sounding absolutely fantastic. Really well written songs, really powerful, really good, nice guitar tone on this album. Overall sounds fantastic. Songs are brilliant. Rossdale back to form. I mean, what is there to want really from a Bush album? It's great. It's going to sound great live. Really disappointed, obviously, that download hasn't happened, so people couldn't see this live in action, because that would have been really, really good. I know these songs would have sounded fantastic live. They've done like a little live performance of the songs, and even then they sounded great. I would recommend from this album Flowers on a Grave or Bullet Holes. I'd say those two you listen to and you think, wow, I think I know what I'm in for here for this album. Give you a really good sort of window into what Bush are now. And obviously, if you want to go back and check out the more grungy 90s stuff, then you can do that as well. But you might like this. I certainly do. If you're a Bush fan, I think you should listen to it. Even if you haven't listened to Bush in, 25 years, it might be cool if you listen to what they sound like now, because it's different. Still really good. Recommend Flowers on a Grave, Bullet Holes, and probably the song The Kingdom as well. Just throw that in there. But yeah, great album. And yeah, go and listen to it. Recommendation number 7. I keep saying recommendation, but I mean albums that I liked / recommendation. I recommend all these albums. That's what I'm trying to say. But these are the ones that I liked from last year as well. Recommendation number 7 is DevilDriver's Dealing with Demons, Volume 1. I really haven't enjoyed the last few DevilDriver albums that much. Oh, I'm wearing a DevilDriver shirt. When It Kills, that was a good album. I feel like this is absolutely brilliant. Probably one of the best DevilDriver albums, and I'm going to say it out there. I don't care what anyone else says. I think fans on Facebook that I've seen have really enjoyed it, and the feedback that Des said was really good on it. It's just got a lot of passion. I feel like his lyrics and his vocals, he really believes in what he's singing. And I hear him doing an interview with Bees, and he said that he really has put his heart and soul into these lyrics. They're not just metal lyrics for the sake of metal lyrics. He's really thought about this, and there's some deep feelings in there, and you can tell it's got a lot of energy and a lot of power. Same with the music as well, though. Just this album just absolutely hammers the entire time. I recommend this to any sort of metal fan or DevilDriver fan. If you like any form of metal, I really think you should give this a go. And also, strangely, I don't think really he's done some sort of clean vocals on some stuff that DevilDriver have done, but nothing that stand out this much. On the song Wishing, Des does clean vocals on a DevilDriver track. It's insane. And I mean clean. But they sound fantastic. They fit in and really work for the track. I'll stop babbling on. I would recommend Keep Away From Me and Wishing, the songs that you should listen to from this. They'll give you a good indication as to what you're in for the rest of the album, and they're awesome. So yeah, metal it up and listen to a bit of DevilDriver, Dealing with Demons Volume 1. Recommendation number 8 / album I enjoyed last year is Marilyn Manson's We Are Chaos. Sort of carrying on from the last couple of albums, really. Sort of like almost like a trilogy, I feel, and this is kind of the ending of it. It's weird. This album sounds more like a Depeche Mode album than it does a Marilyn Manson album. I'm not trying to say that's a bad thing. It sounds fantastic. It's just a step sideways. These elements have always been in his music, but they haven't really been at the forefront as much as they are now. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fresh, and I loved it. I thought it was brilliant from start to finish. Absolutely fantastic album. Vocals are great. Production quality is fantastic. Lyrics are brilliant. The song We Are Chaos just hits the nail right on the head for everything that the world is really going through at the moment. So for any Manson fan, this is a must listen to if you haven't already. And for anyone that, likes your sort of almost 80-ish sounding stuff, plus your sort of dark gothic-y, there's a bit of Smashing Pumpkins, darker stuff in here, and a bit of classic Manson. So there's a bit in there for everyone, really. So yeah, I mean, the songs I'd recommend from this would be We Are Chaos and what's the other one called? One Step Forward, I think that's called. Just brilliant. I mean, there's nothing really to say else about it. I can't say anything else about this album. It's fantastic. Really great listen. Quite an easy listen as well. If you want an album to just chill, you're not feeling like jumping up and down and rocking out, this is a great album to put on just to relax and listen to and just sort of drink in all the fantastic music and lyrics. So yeah, Marilyn Manson, We Are Chaos. Go check it out. Album recommendation number 9 is Static X's Project Regeneration Volume 1. We never thought we would hear a new Static X, I mean, I know it's not new. If you don't know, Wayne Static, the singer of Static X and guitar player, died. I think it was back in 2013 or 14. If you're not familiar with the band, and obviously it was very sad, especially for all us fans who just love the band from what we thought was start to finish. What the band have done is they've taken his old vocals from unfinished songs that he was working on for his solo stuff, I believe, and old songs for the band, and they have written new songs and riffs and used some of his and put that all around the music. I can tell you now, this sounds like it's a new album that was made in the studio, with him present. Probably some of Wayne's best vocals and lyrics. It's just such a joy to hear, It just made me so happy listening to how good it was and how much work that, the other guys that had worked on it had put into it, and the production value was fantastic. I really loved this album. It was such a nice thing for me to hear Wayne's voice again, and I think for everyone as well that's been a fan for ages. And even if you're not too familiar with the band, but a couple of Static X songs, I think you should really go and check this album out. It's just brilliant. It's just fantastic. I can't put into words how great it is for a Static X fan to have a new Static X album. And it says Volume 1. I'm hoping there's going to be a Volume 2. I haven't read too much into it. But that would be even better if we could have some more Static X songs, just to top things off. That would be brilliant. From this album, I would recommend Hollow and All These Years. They're just as good as any other Static X that I can think of. I mean, they've always been fantastic in my eyes. Definitely go check it out. Static X, Project Regeneration, Volume 1. You will enjoy it. And my final recommendation of albums from last year, and Dylan from the Dillcam would kill me if I didn't put in a Bring Me the Horizon album. So it's Bring Me the Horizon's Post-Human Survival Horror. This is another fantastic Bring Me the Horizon album. I loved Amo, the last one. I thought that was great as well. They've obviously gone with a heavier edge on this one compared to that, which I really like. I think there's something in here for everyone. I've said before, I wasn't a Bring Me the Horizon fan in the beginning. Wasn't one of the guys in the mosh pits. Their type of heavy just wasn't the kind of heavy that I liked. Whenever I saw them live, which I witnessed them a few times. I thought technically they were fantastic. They were really gifted musicians, but their type of heavy just really wasn't for me. And I think that's happened with a lot of my friends where they don't like the new stuff and I don't like the old stuff, so we kind of swapped over. Another fantastic album from them. Brilliant. I think that Ollie's vocals, screaming, are brilliant. Probably back to being great again. I think his singing vocals are even stronger than on the last album, and obviously they've got I think all female guest vocals on this one, so that's cool, getting it out there for the females and make sure that they're getting the limelight that they deserve. I think the last track with Amy Lee is absolutely beautiful. I think it's a fantastic song, really well written. She's great. Kingslayer with Baby Metal again is another one that's incredible. So I'd recommend probably Obey, Parasite Eve and Kingslayer from this album. So I think even if you're not a fan of Bring Me the Horizon, this is a really good time to check them out because they've got a bit of electronica, a bit of heavy, just a bit of singing, a bit of screaming, a little bit for everyone, I think, in their new album. So yeah, definitely recommend that one. And that's it. They're all the albums really, the 10 albums that I recommend from last year. There's probably a lot more I could go through, but we could be here forever. Go check them out if you want. The songs that I've recommended should be good entry level for people. If you don't want to check them out and you hate me, that's fine too. Just make sure you subscribe and then you can abuse me on all my other videos. But I don't have a problem with that as long as you subscribe. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. It's always appreciated. Look after each other out there, and I shall see you in the next video.